Okay, hi guys. My name's Ethan Leeds, holistic health coach. In just a few minutes, I'll be introducing Shanna. I've been helping Shanna and some of her family with various health issues naturally. Now, of course, from a natural approach, we don't actually treat disease, but what we do is we help to rebalance the body. We help to get toxins out of the body. We help to reduce oxidation, improve mitochondrial function, to provide nutrients that the body needs, to reduce inflammation, to increase oxygen, alkalize, and all of these things. When we do that, the body can do amazing things in terms of healing. So I'm not going to tell you about that. I'm going to pass over to Shanna in just a second, and she can tell you her story and then some of her family members. So hi, Shanna.
Hello, how are you?
I'm great, and I'm so glad that you've joined me to share some of your story. So
yeah, thank you for having me.
That's no problem. So what would be great is if we start with you telling a little bit about your story, your health issues, and where you are today.
Okay, well, my major health issues started whenever I was 25. I went to the doctor thinking that I had a cyst on one of my ovaries. And whenever I got there, they did an ultrasound and they were like, no, they said, we need to do surgery to see what's in there. So they admitted me to the hospital. I went in under surgery. My husband was away working. And whenever I woke up, I found out that I had stage 4 endometriosis and they had to do a full hysterectomy and couldn't leave anything behind.
Oh, wow. So pretty serious.
Yeah, it was really bad. I was in the hospital for 5 days recovering, and then I was on oxygen for 2 months at home because I would stop breathing in my sleep and I would redline. So it was pretty bad. So yeah, after that, my health began to decline. I lost a ton of weight. At 5'10", I went down to 121 pounds.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, one time I walked into my kids' school and they were really little at the time, and they asked if they needed to call an ambulance because I was so frail and so small and my skin was green and my eyes were yellow.
Oh.
They thought that I needed to go to the hospital.
Okay.
So,
not well at all. What was the worst thing that was, what was the worst health thing that was going on with you at that point?
Well, whenever they did the hysterectomy, my intestines were permeated by the endometriosis. So they had to cut into my intestines and they had to fix them and fix some spots and cut out some spots and stuff like that. So for the next 10 years, I was unable to use the bathroom without having to take a laxative or something to help me. I couldn't use the restroom on my own.
Okay. So that's not good. So you were basically poisoning yourself from within by being permanently constipated.
Right.
Okay. So we then put you on some certain supplements, and tell us what happened after that.
Well, let me go back. Before the supplements, I had changed my diet and done everything that I could do. Within a 2-year span, they did over 7 exploratory surgeries trying to figure out what was going on. I went to every specialist doctor they could do. Yes, yeah.
Okay, and at the end of that, they still were not really able to help you.
No, they weren't.
So you then went on an amazingly clean diet for many, many years. You
right.
were kind of famous for it within your own circle, right?
Yeah, people used to say, should I eat this or not? Well, if Shanna thinks it's okay to eat, then it's healthy.
Right. So you got known for you only ate healthy stuff, only clean, and that obviously is good for your health, but it didn't fix the problems that we're talking about.
No.
Okay, all right. Thank you for that little bit of background. But then you on certain supplements to reduce your oxidation, to help your mitochondrial dysfunction, and a few other areas. And then what happened?
Well, within 5 days of doing that for the first time in 11 years, I was able to use the bathroom without having to take laxatives or anything like that. And I could actually feel it. For the first time in 11 years, I could actually feel that I could use the restroom.
And that is a massive deal because that's your body's prime method of detox.
Right.
So if that's not functioning as it should, then that causes all kinds of problems. So that's absolutely brilliant. So and did that continue? It wasn't just a short-lived thing. It carried on being the case.
Yes. Yep. Ever since, I've been able to use the restroom without any problems, anything like that. Some of the during that time also, they had to remove a few different types of skin cancer, and some of the spots that they were still worried about are going away on their own.
Right. So cancer is caused by toxicity primarily. So
Yep.
very toxic. You spoke about green skin, yellow eye. This is all toxic signs.
Mm-hmm.
So once we started to deal with the damage the toxins were causing, started to help your body remove toxins, and in particular got the bowel movement going, then you started. So how did you feel? I mean, so your bowel movement's going. That's fantastic.
Right.
What about, did you feel any different? Did you have any more energy? Did you have any more clarity of thought? Did any other changes?
Yes. So I was always told that after you have kids, you have mommy brain. They just say, you forget things because you have mommy brain.
Right.
And after getting rid of the toxicity and being on all the supplements and correcting my body, I don't have the brain fog or the forgetting things constantly. Like, I would write things down on a note, and then I would forget to look at the note to remind me. My dad says, he's like, just write it on your forehead. So yeah, it was really bad. I don't do that anymore. I actually remember things. I have energy. I was really, really desperate. And at the beginning of this, I actually went to take some energy pills and stuff like that years ago. And I couldn't function. I by 2:00 in the afternoon, I felt like my eyes would literally close, and I couldn't drive at night because I felt like I was going to fall asleep.
Right.
And everything. So after all of this, I have all the energy for the day, and my skin looks better. I don't like, even some of my, which is weird because this is not the reason I did it, but even some of my stretch marks and stuff from having the babies and everything is starting to heal, and my skin's more supple and everything like that. So it's really cool.
So it's been life-changing for you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's wonderful. So, but we've also been helping some of your other members of your family,
Right.
Because they saw some of your results, right? And they were like, "What is this? What are you doing?" And so
Right.
I got into some conversations with some of the other family and did similar things, slightly different, but similar things for some of them. So, do you want to? There's a few members of your family actually. So I don't know where you start. So start with somebody in your family and
Okay. I'll start with Mama. My mom saw my energy levels because she was always super concerned with me, and Mommy took care of me whenever I was really sick all the time and helped with the kids. And she doesn't have much energy either, and the doctors couldn't find out why. So Mommy was able to, and within the first 2 weeks, she actually had energy for the day, and she was happy. Like, she didn't feel like I don't know, just the sound in her voice whenever you talk to her, she's got life in her voice.
Right.
And she's sleeping, and she has energy during the day and doesn't feel run down. So that's awesome.
Feeling better in herself. She's sleeping and she's got energy.
Right.
How long is it since she's had energy?
She got it within the first 2 weeks, and it's been about 5 weeks now, and she still does.
So how long did she not have energy before that?
For years. Okay. For years, just being run down, taking care of everything. Her job is very demanding.
Right. Okay.
And everything. So.
Okay, that's awesome. Okay, so now let's go with another member of your family. I'm leaving it to you who you speak.
Okay. Well, my baby sister also benefited. She's amazing, and I love her to death. And she was diagnosed whenever she was 10 with depression and later bipolar. Right. And she was on 4 different medications, and I saw her deteriorating, and I love her so much. And she just had a really hard time. And after about 3 months of being on everything, she's off 3 of the 4 of her medications, and she's happy. And it's the first time I've seen her in her life happy.
Absolutely awesome. This is why I do what I do. I mean, it's just fantastic. And those are happy tears, right? Uh,
Yeah.
that's fantastic. So, you know, I see all the time so many people anxious, depressed, various other cognitive issues. And you know, when you see results like this, when the body starts to rebalance, when you start removing the toxins out of the brain, out of the gut, out of the blood, and so on, you know, the body just is amazing. It's just so wonderful when people start to recover what they should have naturally,
Right.
but we're being poisoned, and so many of us are struggling with that. Okay,
Right.
so
Right.
let's talk briefly
Okay.
about your son.
Yes. So my boy, whenever he was born with allergies to cats, and my family are cat people. I grew up with cats whenever I was younger, and he was never able to stay the night at grandma's house or his aunt's or anything like that, any of my sisters, because they have cats, and
You've muted yourself.
sorry, we couldn't stay at our house for more than 2 or 3 hours before his eyes would be puffed up. He would have to wash his face with water. He'd have to come home and shower.
Oh,
And he loves his family, and it really hurt. So after him being on some of the supplements, he, for the first time in his life, was able to touch a cat. And he can go over to Aunt Mimi's house without any issues, any problems. He can play with his cousin. And he actually babysat her so we could all go on double dates last week for the first time ever. And he was there for about 7 hours and no issue whatsoever.
absolutely awesome. So allergies is another thing, very, very common. Again, you know, once you balance the body, these things can just self-heal. So that's absolutely fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I've got one other of your family members in mind. Is there more than one? Have I forgotten anybody? But I'm thinking.
Oh, Aunt Susan.
Aunt Susan, right? So that's a
Yeah.
big one, right?
Oh, yes. Okay, so Aunt Susan last year was diagnosed. I mean, all of a sudden, was diagnosed with stage 4 ovarian cancer.
Okay.
And she did not want to do any of the radiation or the chemo. And they told her that she was going to have about 2 months to live because she refused.
Okay.
So, so she got a hold of you, Ethan, and worked with you, and all natural, completely natural. She did nothing else. And this last October, she went into, so her numbers were, for those who don't know, that you have a chart of your numbers and your
protein marker C21, which is
right.
the marker which says how serious things are, and it should be 38 if everything's great as you're healthy.
Right.
Hers was 548 off the chart.
Right. Yes.
Right. Okay. So carry on. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah. So she went back to get her blood drawn. Obviously, she's still alive. She didn't die after 2 months.
Yeah.
She got all of her markers rechecked, and her markers were around the normal range. I think it was like 41.
Right. Yeah. 48.
48. Thank you. Yeah. 48.
-10. So, and 38 is the normal. So pretty, yeah. So, and
Yeah.
the graph looked like that from where the marker was over 8 months. It was literally like that.
Yes.
This was
Yep.
from what's the cancer center called? It's out of my head. Anderson Cancer.
Yes. MD. Yep. MD Anderson. Yep.
Cancer Center. And she's feeling great, and they don't.
Oh, she feels amazing. She hasn't had this much energy before in her life.
Right.
I mean, she feels amazing.
Yeah.
She's an amazing woman, and
she is.
Yeah.
And again, it's just, you know, it's just what I live for, to help people like this, because, you know, there's so many people who are sick needlessly because they've been poisoned with a whole massive range of poisons. Their body is in a mess, and that ultimately disease is a consequence of these imbalances. So I don't treat disease. It's illegal for me to treat cancer and so on. I don't treat cancer. I don't treat any of these other things. What I do is, using natural things, I help to rebalance the body. And once the body is rebalanced, the body itself can heal. The body is designed to heal. It's only not healing because something is so far out of balance that it's inhibiting the body's ability to do that.
Right.
So I'm so delighted for you and your entire family, and I know now that you're telling big friends and other people, and there's lots of people are benefiting. So it's just fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing your story.
Absolutely.
We've not talked about the supplements because it's illegal to make claims about natural supplements doing anything. So we have to be very careful to stay within the law. But if anybody wants to talk with Shanna or with myself, we'd be very happy to point you in the right direction of how to go about rebalancing your body and what you would need to do. So it's been fantastic having you on. Is there anything that I've missed that you wanted to cover, or anything else, or have you pretty much covered everybody?
Yep, that's it.
Well,
So far.
So many people in your family that have been benefited that I think.
I know. It'll keep growing, I'm sure.
I'm sure it will. So, okay, that's absolutely wonderful. Thank you very much. I hope this has been encouraging for those of you that might be struggling with a chronic condition, everything from cancer to cognitive issues, depression, bipolar. I didn't know if you mentioned that you had bipolar. I can't remember if you did, but she had bipolar, right?
Yes.
So all of these types of things your body can heal from if it's given the right tools. God bless you. Have a great day, and get in touch with myself or Shanna if you want further information. Thanks a lot.